Welcome back to our journey through Middle Eastern history. We are about to cover a lot of ground. We explore how Islamic expansion reshaped the region and set the stage for the modern return of Jews to their homeland. In 610 CE in Arabia, which is 1,500 kilometers from Jerusalem, Muhammad received his first revelation. A new religion was born. This was over 600 years after Christ. One of the largest and fastest imperial expansions in history reshaped not only the entire Middle East and North Africa, but the world. This wasn't just about the land now called Israel. It transformed what were once Christian, Jewish, and Zoroastrian majority societies into predominantly Muslim ones over time through conquest, not indigenous development. From Muhammad having his revelation in Arabia, Islam spread in such a rapid and very fast way that today there are about 50 Muslim-majority countries across 4 different continents, representing roughly a quarter of the world's population. The beginning of Islamic dominance of this area of the Middle East was established when the Muslims expanded into the area through conquest in 638 CE. Jewish and Christian communities were tolerated as long as they accepted their inferior status. Many indigenous groups, Jews, Copts, Assyrians, Zoroastrians, Druze, Yazidis, and others, were once thriving majorities or larger communities in their ancestral homelands. Over centuries under Islamic imperial rule, they were reduced to minority and second-class citizen status. Jewish people and other non-Muslims in Jerusalem, Tiberias, Tzfat, and other cities nevertheless endured and deepened their cultural, religious, and physical ties to the land. A number of these indigenous minorities still exist today, but often face ongoing persecution, discrimination, or violence, especially from extremist Islamic jihadist ideologies. The story of religious minorities in the Middle East includes many communities, not just Jews. The Ottoman Empire. In 1517, a Muslim Turkish dynasty conquered the Egyptian Mamluks, who were the region's rulers, and established the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans ruled the area for the next 4 centuries. They were relatively tolerant compared to some other Islamic rulers, but Jews and Christians remained subject to the Dhimmi system, a legal framework that granted them protected status but also imposed restrictions, special taxes, jizya, and second-class citizenship. Under Ottoman rule, Jews lived primarily in cities like Jerusalem, Hebron, Safed, and Tiberias. Despite restrictions, Jewish communities maintained their religious practices, built synagogues, and studied religious texts. Safed became a major center of Jewish mysticism in the 16th century. The Jewish population in the land fluctuated but remained relatively small during most of the Ottoman Empire, often numbering in the tens of thousands. Many Jews maintained deep spiritual and religious connections to the land, with some migrating there for religious reasons or persecution elsewhere throughout the centuries. Rising nationalism and Jewish return. By the late 1800s, Jews in Europe and the Middle East faced rising anti-Semitism and violent pogroms. At the same time, nationalist movements were emerging across Europe. Greeks, Italians, Poles, and others sought to establish nation-states based on shared ethnic or cultural identity. At the same time, as Arab nationalist movements grew, Jewish communities in Muslim countries also suffered pogroms and persecution. For millennia, Jews had maintained their connection to Zion, praying next year in Jerusalem, building synagogues facing Jerusalem. In fact, their entire religious calendar and founding beliefs centered around that land. What emerged in the late 1800s wasn't this age-old connection, but rather its expression in modern political terms. Jewish intellectuals and activists began articulating political Zionism. They simply advocated for what others were pursuing, self-determination in the form of a nation-state in their ancestral homeland. Early political Zionist thinkers like Leon Pinsker and Theodor Herzl argued that Jews could not expect to be safe as minorities in other nations and needed a homeland of their own. Starting in the 1880s, the first Aliyah, or wave of Jewish immigration, brought thousands of Jews from Eastern Europe and Yemen to Ottoman southern Syria. These pioneers established agricultural settlements and began purchasing land, often swamps or desert areas that were underdeveloped or uncultivated. This was the beginning of the modern return, Jews coming back to the land where their ancestors had lived for millennia, motivated by both religious heritage and political necessity. Click through to the next segment. It's all about the land, so Part 3 gives you a close look at how Jewish communities acquired it. You'll also see an overview of the tragic events of the Holocaust and the surprising path to statehood.